California. This is my husband, Jim Cope. And we relocated to Bellingham from California. And we did an extensive research on people who did green builds. And Dan from Bundle Design was one of the people that we had interviewed for this project. Our goal was to remodel a house with a fairly small footprint, one level, energy efficient, easy to maintain, and hopefully carry us into the progression of more green builds into the future.
We focus on this type of project for almost all of our builds. What we specialize in is net zero energy projects and passive house buildings. This building in particular is very high performance. For all of our projects, we get what's called a HERS score, which is basically a miles per gallon for a house. And this house actually was the 4th lowest HERS score rating in the United States last year. So that gives kind of a measure of how energy efficient this building is. And a lot of the features that we'll talk about lend itself to achieving that goal of high performance.
So with the House Co, Clint really listened to the different, he was really open to different aspects of the build. And he gave us different options from his knowledge and experience of being a builder.
I've been building it for a lot of years. I've been more old school, and I have learned, especially dealing with people like this, that that's the future, and that's it makes more sense. So as a company, I am learning through architects giving me ideas, and I'm learning how to take the old and kind of mix them with the new.
We have 2 appliances in here that are really important in a high performance build. One of them is the hot water heater. This is a heat pump water heater, significantly more efficient than electric or gas water heaters. The one thing to consider when doing this is they do create a little bit of noise, and they also create a little bit of cold air as they're heating the water. Sometimes we duct these to the outside and sometimes we don't. This particular unit is a little bit noisier than the homeowners like, and so that is a consideration to have when you're placing a heat pump water heater. The other appliance that we have are high efficiency washer and dryer. So this is actually a heat pump dryer as well. So rather than having gas or electric resistance, it runs on a heat pump. So it can be up to 200 to 300% efficient compared to a regular dryer. So for all our projects, and this one included, we do electric only. So this is a 100% electric house. We'll talk about the solar panels in a little bit. But heating and cooling is also handled exclusively by electricity. For this project, we use mini split heat pumps. This is one of the heads. There's 2 heads in this project. And this supplies both heating and air conditioning, obviously dependent upon the season. And this is completely separated from the ventilation system. So along with the heating, we also have a ventilation system called an HRV, which is a heat recovery ventilator, which provides both fresh air and handles all of the exhaust for the building. And again, that's completely separated from the heating system. So up on the ceiling here, we have a supply port, which we supply to all the dry rooms. And then in the wet rooms, such as the kitchen, laundry, or bathrooms, we also have exhaust ports. And the importance of that is now we've created a flow of ventilation through the entire house, supplying in the dry rooms and exhausting from the wet rooms.
We did a lot of investigative research online, and there was I don't think there was a whole lot in terms of a specific website, and we just lucked out. We got in contact with Dan and a couple of other people that had some background in green building. One of the things that Dan had suggested was that we go through the community energy challenge, and that was really educational because I didn't know what being green really meant and what numbers people look at in terms of building a green home.
Project in particular has regular cavity insulation within the wall system, but then we also did exterior insulation on the outside. And to protect all of that building assembly, we also included a rain screen. For days like today when it's raining, when we might experience some water that gets behind the siding, we actually have an air gap that allows for ventilation and drying of that wall assembly so that we don't experience mold and decay within the building. But so the important thing about that insulation system is that it's continuous. So we can draw a line around this building where the insulation from the floor to the walls to the roof is 100% continuous. So that we don't have a lot of building elements such as wood studs or anything of the sort that go from interior to exterior, because then that's a thermal bridge that allows heat to just transfer directly through that. And so you can see that on a frosty day where a lot of people's roofs, you can see where the frost has been melted, where there are structural elements, and that's called a thermal bridge.
Cool.
But so this building has been designed so that there are very, very few thermal bridges, which is one of the main reasons that it has the efficiency rating that it does.